All right, hey everyone. So we are deviating from our note packet a little bit and jumping to a handout that we're mostly going to do together in this video. The purpose of this handout is just to really make sure that we understand what a box plot is and what kind of all the lines on it mean. And so we're gonna look at this age at first marriage data set. But just to make it a little bit more manageable, we're going to suppose that we just only have 20 observations of different women's ages the first time they married. So we see the youngest age is 20, the oldest is 40 for these 20 different women. And so we've got our nice kind of table of summary stats that's going to help us make the box plot below. And so go ahead and pause the video for a second and see if you can do questions 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll draw the box plot together. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and so when you unpause it, 1 through 3 should all just be filled out. We're not really going to talk about it since it was covered in the last video. Okay, we're back. I feel like one of those cooking shows where they do all the prep ahead of time and then you know what I mean. You should have wound up with these for the first 3, figuring out that there is one outlier, the woman that got married at the age of 40. And so now let's go ahead and use the table and what we calculated in 1 through 3 and draw a box plot. So I'm going to draw it just on the bottom of this page. There's a little bit of space, and I hate drawing, so I already know it's not going to look the best, but that's okay. It's just a little sketch. And so first, let's give our y-axis a label. And so this is going to be age in years. And then draw our little x-axis. And so now we're going to start by drawing the box. And so the box is going to have a line in the middle that's about 25. So make that 25. And then the outer parts of the box, it's going to extend to 23 on the lower end and then up to 29 on the upper end. I'm going to make it extend a little bit farther on the upper end, so it looks something like that. And now we want to figure out what the smallest observation in the data set is that's not an outlier. Well, there are no outliers on the lower end, so that means the smallest observation that's not an outlier is 20, and so that's where the first whisker is going to extend. And then we want to do the same for the upper end. So we want to figure out the largest observation in the data set that's not an outlier. And so that we figured out before that 40 was an outlier. And so I'm looking at the observations up here. It looks like that's 32. And so this line is going to extend up to 32. So the only, I think, really tricky part is that the line, remember, does not extend to the upper fence. So it doesn't go up to 38. It just goes up to the largest observation in the data set that's not an outlier. And then we just have to mark this 40 with a little asterisk. That's our outlier. And we're done. So nice work on that. Mine is a little bit lopsided, as you can tell, but that's okay. We just want a rough sketch. We see from this that the distribution is a little bit right skewed, but it's not really as extreme as the example that we saw in the baseball data set. All right, so hopefully that's kind of good enough practice with this. You don't have to submit this handout or anything, but do let me know if you have any questions about this.